1, 2, 3. We're Arena and you're watching liveprog.
Can anybody hear me? I'm suffocating, can't you hear me shout? Wrapped up in some...
When Arena got back together after their 5-year break, the first thing they did was play live. They played 2 shows, one in the UK and one in Holland, and there they introduced their new singer Paul Manzi. Then they finished recording their new album, The Seventh Degree of Seperation, and when that was released they went back on the road, started touring to support the album. No surprise there, because Arena is a real live band. You can see that when they are on stage, they are at their best. In that tour that they did to support the album, I had the pleasure of seeing the band 3 times, and each time I was blown away by them, and especially, I'll be honest, by Paul Manzi, because he is a phenomenal singer. In that tour, they played in a couple of countries in Europe. Of course they played in Poland, of course they played in Katowice, and of course they played in that well-known theater in Katowice that we have seen so many times, probably have on so many live DVDs. And there they recorded a live DVD of their own, Rapture. Now, it is a bit of a logical choice to record the DVD there. Of course you have to, keep in mind the whole cost idea. The people at that theater are very familiar with it, are very skilled with it. They have everything available there because it has to be, affordable for a band to do that. So we have a DVD shot there. Now let's first get a few things that bug me out of the way, because then we can move on to the nicer things. There were a couple of things that I noticed while watching the DVD that kind of, bugged me a little bit. The lighting. Lighting was really good, but there was a lot of blue light, and at some points, it kind of drowns out the whole background, so a little too much maybe. Also the angles. The camera people are very skilled, but every DVD again you get kind of the same angles, and I had a feeling they wanted to try something different, but they have a lot of close-ups on hands that play instruments and everything, and they had some really strange angles where they swerve around lights on the stage, but I wish they had focused a little more on just bringing the full band in the picture, because that is why you watch the DVD, you want to see the band play. And I don't mind skipping from one scene to the other, but I'd like to have enough view on the full band doing what they do best. And that is fortunately what you see here, because all what I mentioned are just minor things, because in the end you have a fantastic DVD and you really see Arena bringing a kick-ass show. A little more technical details before we go into the music. The DVD has 2 sound options. You have a 5.1 surround mix and you have a 2.0 stereo mix. I must say, I compared them. I was slightly disappointed with the 5.1 mix. It didn't really blow out my speakers as I was expecting to. When I switched channels, from surround to stereo and back again, I heard not much difference. I more had the feeling it was a 3.1 and 2.0 surround mix, something like that. But fortunately, maybe not as surroundy as I was hoping for, but still a great show to watch. They had some bonus materials. They had an interview with Mick Pointer and Clive Nolan, and they have a sort of a bootleg concert from 2011, the band playing in Warsaw in Poland. Despite the fact that they say bootleg, it's still a multi-camera show. The only thing is you can't skip tracks from one to the next.
Too much at stake. Do what the gods say. Every day the idea grows. Money is no object, so keep on building. Stone on stone, let the temple reach the clouds. Stand alone.
The main show, that's why you want to have this DVD. Unfortunately, the main show is still fantastic to watch. It's a lot of fun to see the band. The band are really on fire. Of course, they're supporting the Seventh Degree of Seperation album, and that is, if you look at the artwork, it's completely in the style of the Seventh Degree album. So no surprises there. And of course, the big chunk of the show is of that album. And it's nice to see the songs live from the album. Of course, these songs were written with Paul Manzi as vocalist in mind, so they are perfectly for his voice, and he sings them very well. The nice thing is, he sings them often a bit different than you hear on the album, especially in the opener, The Great Escape. When I heard that on the album, I knew this would be a fantastic song to open the show with. And that's what they do. And it's nice to see that when you see that Paul does variations in the singing, it really adds to the fact that he is such a phenomenal singer, that he has an impressive range, but he also has an amazing stage personality. So it is a lot of fun to watch him. And that has always been an important part of an arena show. They had this frontman that would dress up a little bit. Well, Paul Manzi does that as well. He does not try to copy, for example, Rob Soden. He has his own style on stage, and he is a worthy frontman for arena, absolutely. But the more interesting songs on this DVD are the older songs that were not specifically written for Paul Manzi, but written for the previous singers of arena. I personally think that the set list, the track listing of this DVD is a dream. It is a beautiful, the band has a lot of material to choose from, and of course every set list, every track listing is open for discussion because we all have our favorites, but the 21 tracks on this DVD I think are fantastic. A little under 2 hours of music is what the band brings you, but they bring it with a lot of passion and a lot of fun. When we're talking fun, we're talking Crying for Help Part 7. That is the Arena Sing-Along Fest. That is the moment where the audience goes crazy. They can sing on the top of their lungs along with Paul Manzi, but that's also the moment where Clive Nolan can get away from his keyboards and start messing with the microphone stands of John Jowitt and John Mitchell. A lot of fun to watch, but still listen to the guitars by John Mitchell in that song. It is still a great song as well, not just a lot of fun. And that is something you see throughout the show. The five guys do what they do best, make incredible music. You have the strong rhythm section, Mick Pointer and John Jowitt, the soundscapes, the keyboard solos by Clive Nolan, and you have the stunning, superb guitars by John Mitchell, and of course the charismatic and sometimes even haunting vocals by Paul Manzi. That is arena. When we're talking guitars and we're talking John Mitchell, you have to listen to Serenity, but also what I love very much from the Contagion album, Riding the Tide. These songs are so made for John Mitchell, absolutely stunning songs. They also included, they included songs from every album in their back catalog. For example, from Pride only one track, but from the rest a little more. But they also included tracks from Pepper's Ghost, and that is often an album that a lot of people say that's some bit of the lesser album in the arena back catalog. Personally, I think it is a great album, and I'm happy that they included 2 tracks of them. One of them being my personal favorite, The Eyes of Lara Moon, but also Bedlam Fair. When you listen to that song and you see the guys on stage and you see Paul Manzi, I think it is a strong song, very beautiful, and I'm very happy they included it.
Like a virus in the system. Oh, like a ghost in the firewall. Let me in. Let me fade away.
A couple of real surprises by the band are some songs that they haven't played, well, in a long time, and one of them maybe even never. At least I have never heard them in a live show, but of course I haven't seen all the arena shows. The first surprise we find in track number 10, which is introduced by Clive Nolan as being the first song that he and Mick Pointer wrote when they met and decided, they would make music together. Valley of the Kings. So fantastic, from the Songs of the Lion's Cage album. But so fantastic to hear that song, this time in the version of Paul Manzi. And the same goes with Solomon, which is of course a song they play at basically every show. I personally never get tired of it. I'm really happy. That song still gives me goosebumps. But again, I think Solomon is a song that we have versions of from every singer that ever sung for arena. Now we have Paul Manzi's version. And again, it's different from the rest and it still rocks. It still sounds very fantastic. The second highlight and the second big surprise comes from the Immortal album, Ghost in the Firewall. And again, this is one of the more electronic songs with a special role for Clive Nolan with the soundscapes and the electronic sounds and everything. But I am really happy they included this one because, again, this is a fantastic song. And this, brings a lot of variation, of course, because Arena has so much songs to choose from, but often there are a lot of songs that are kind of obligated to be played in a show. Like Solomon, of course, but also like The Visitor, the title track of the album. But one song is notably missing from the set list, something that you always hear in basically every show, The Hanging Tree. As much as I love the song, I don't miss it here because there are so many other fantastic songs that the band plays. Altogether, we have once again a great live document from a great live band that are at the top on progressive rock. The next thing, hopefully a new studio album. That's what I'm looking forward to. But for now, I would say check out Rapture. And if you're not that fan of live DVDs, but you still want to hear the band live, they have a live album out as well. Check out liveprog.com for the video review of that album as well. And speaking of liveprog.com, check out that website because there you find all my video reviews and a lot more, as well as interviews also with Arena and Clive Nolan. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, of course, you can follow me on Facebook and on Twitter, and you can stay up to date in the world of liveprog.